and we are streaming to the internet. And now I'm going to go check on the internet on my YouTube to see if it's going green. Oh, we got people chatting already. This is looking good. Hey, Brian Crosby, Jonathan Milton, Ditsy Little G. What's going on, guys? Look, I need you. We need to do a sound check to let me know that you can see us. So if you can see me and hear me, and you can see
Araquel.
Hey Raquel, God, hey Raquel, make some noise. Hey Raquel, say hello to the people, please.
Hey, everybody.
There it is. Hey Raquel, I've just been practicing too. That's what happens when you got a cool name. They hear us. Hiya, we hear you, Tim. All right, fantastic. All right, guys. I'm very, very, very pleased to announce that I have a guest tonight, one who I actually met in the real world. A independent minded, strong spirited person who believes in democracy and believes in changing our politics. I want to also applaud this woman and her people for being so relentless, because we need relentless people. And that's a nice way to say they nagged the hell out of me until I did this, and I'm glad I'm doing it. Give it up for Araquel, guys. Come on. Miss Bloss.
Hello.
Yes. So, Araquel, please. Araquel Bloss she is the independent. She's an independent, but she is the. You know what? I know that she was. I know she was inspired by Bernie. At least I thought she was when I met her. But you're doing something kind of different, Araquel. What is it that you're doing?
Well, for about the last year, we've been developing a large movement for an independent party for the 99%. So we are a coalition-based party. It will be like a parliamentary type of system, an umbrella organization for uniting the left. And we've been doing this for about a year.
Amazing. I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. Doing it for a year. And so that's right around the time, like I thought, like you, so what motivated you to start this?
Well, it was during one of those Super Tuesdays that Bernie, had a loss, and I think it really shocked a lot of us. And I began to wonder what would happen to our beautiful, network of people that we had developed online and outside of social media, and how to stay connected and how we were going to keep our movement moving forward. So I wrote a petition asking Bernie Sanders, Dr. Jill Stein, the Democratic Socialists of America, and the Progressive Democrats of America to join forces to create a progressive independent party. And I launched it on a Friday, and by Tuesday I was on a progressive radio show the night of Arizona primary in Phoenix. So it just resonated with people. It moved very fast, and we just went ahead and launched it. So we've been busy, very busy ever since. And I met you in Philly protesting.
Yes, you
So
did.
that was awesome. We really relied on your voice during that very confusing time, and I appreciate the work you've done.
Oh man, look, I appreciate you're doing something that requires I'm sure, a lot of man hours, a lot of woman hours, a lot of people hours, and a
Mhm.
lot of blood and sweat and tears. So what's that like, starting a party?
Well, it's been quite a learning curve. At first we thought we could just kind of come in and say, "Hey, everybody, let's get together." And as you know, the folks on the left, the independent-minded folks, are very attached to their political identity, affiliations, whether the Green Party, whether Socialist Alternative, whether Socialist, Independent, what have you. And so we have changed with the movement to be a part of the movement, to be, like I said, we don't own the movement, we belong to it, and we will adjust accordingly. So we developed this system that hasn't quite ever happened in our country before. It will be a kind of a parliamentary coalition based party where everyone will keep their political identity, and we will work in unison to form an umbrella organization so we can take back our electoral power and hopefully crush the duopoly. That's the
Hmm.
plan.
Hmm. So you mean anyone from any background can join this organization and fight for causes that they care about? Is that sort of, am I getting that right?
That's exactly right. Yeah.
I
We,
love it.
Yeah, we were all burning crafts without a home, and we've had fantastic success in the last year. But it's been a lot of work, like you said. We were in Philly protesting the DNC, and as you know, that was shocking for all of us to witness and experience that. And a group of us left that and began Occupy Inauguration like the
Mm,
minute we pulled out of Philly. So the next 6 months, I was a co-founder of Occupy Inauguration, which was also a coalition base. We had David Cobb, the Jill Stein's campaign manager, was on
right.
our national steering committee. Calvin Priest from Socialist Alternative. We had much practice building this coalition for Occupy Inauguration. It was an amazing process.
What?
But
Wow. Yeah.
yeah,
That. So tell me a little bit about Occupy inauguration. Like what was the scope of that? Like what was the? How did you put that together, and what was the result?
well, it was actually quite amazing. We had, built this coalition national steering committee, which brought in, these fabulous organizations, like I said, and we ended up developing a list of demands that we had all of our endorsers, which were, hundreds of endorsers of Occupy inauguration, and everyone endorsed these listed demands. Though it took 2 months to develop them because everyone was wanting their issue addressed or a word tweaked or this worded more strongly. So this is how I learned the challenges and the positives of building coalition. It can be tricky, it can be messy sometimes, but in the end you stick together and you focus on what you have in common. So we had this beautiful list of demands moving into Occupy inauguration, many hundreds of lists of endorsers, and we had 3 days of events. We had two rallies. We had a march, which was led by Asa Khalif of Black Lives Matter Philly, and our brothers and sisters, Indigenous brothers and sisters from Standing Rock, led our march. We had amazing speakers. I mean, Tim Canova, Dr. Jill Stein, Chase Iron Eyes, Chris Hedges, Shama Sawant. I mean, this was just an amazing event. And what we wanted to show the country during that most tumultuous moment of having this, this sociopath, elected as our president, that at that moment we could, in fact, come together. And the last day on Sunday, of that weekend of inauguration, PIP, my organization, hosted a Progressive Unity Summit, and it was amazing. I was in the room with 3 people who have run for president: Ralph Nader, Dr. Jill Stein, David Cobb. We had Kevin Zeese of Popular Resistance, Lee Camp, Noah Changa, Steve Grumbine. It was a small but like powerful Progressive Unity Summit, and we hope to show the people of America that even at that time we could rise and unite together. So we were very proud of that.
Yeah, look. Let's give it up for that group of people that you just listed here. That was pretty impressive. Yeah, I'm a little jealous. I wasn't there. Like I knew everybody you just listed. I'm like, okay, where the hell were you at, Tim Black? But
Tim
that,
Black, Tim Black, I invited you. I
I know,
invited
I
you.
know, I know. I'm saying, where the hell were you at, Tim Black? I know. Lee was there. That's my homie. He's in DC all the time. Dave Cobb, Steve Grumbine. Come on, man. I know these guys. I know everyone you listen. I know what Changa. We were hanging out that we actually had a meetup summit for indie media like 2 days before the event. And I guess it was one of the events she was talking about. I had all my kids. I
Aw.
had a lot going on, man. But
No, I understand, but we're gonna have a second one. I mean, it was amazing. We had a documentary crew there. We had real news. We had a reporter from the Observer who changed her bus ticket to be there for the entire thing.
wow,
It was an amazing summit. Just the fact that even though it was short, we
mm-hmm.
had just a broad range of folks there. We actually had last minute. We had the national co-chair of the Green Party come and sit on a panel. We
Wow.
had Socialist Alternative representative there. We had Jonathan Martin, a third-party author and professor. We had Nick Brana there. We had an amazing event, and we promised we would do it again. So please Tim Black saved the date. We're having another one August 18th through the 20th in Seattle. Will
My
be our second
Seattle.
summit.
My birthday is August 13th, guys. Just in case you want to send stuff, August 13th. But no, look. Uh, so look. Okay, so let me say this: we got
Mm-hmm.
Trump in the office, and I
Mm-hmm.
love what you're talking about. I love it. And we have the Russia scare stuff going on right now. People
Mm-hmm.
are still freaking out. How does like how are you gonna like get people off the BS, get people out of the Russia scared stuff, and the people focus on Trump? Like, how are we gonna make them focus on issues that we can all unite to change when they're being distracted by all this other stuff?
Well, we're doing quite a bit actually. We have a three-tier approach to our concept to knock over the duopoly and the oligarchy. And the three-tier approach is supporting independent media, movement building, and building electoral power. So to answer your question, we have just created a humongous progressive coalition for hashtag no war. And again, we've got Draft Bernie for People's Party, part of that coalition, Lee Camp. I mean, I can go on and on. The list is this big. So we are using our ability to form coalitions to form movement building coalitions. It's an amazing thing. We were able to we're calling it kind of flash activism, where we called pop-up activism coast to coast, and within 24 hours of the missile launch in Syria, we did have coast to coast events and anti-war protests planned. It was a beautiful thing, and so we're going to continue to work with this coalition to be calling on everybody to stand up when it's time to stand up in a decentralized, a little bit more unpredictable manner so that we can grow, be faster, and be unstoppable. And so it's an amazing thing that I feel we are lucky to be a part of. And to answer your other question, how to get people away from the false Russian narrative, we have launched a campaign called hashtag MSM Detox. And at PIP, we do not post any mainstream media news, and we will give folks our resources of approved independent media to post, and we walk our talk. And I
Wow.
hope it's having an impact. I've cut my cable cord. We're telling people cut your cable cord, give it 60 days, and the way you see this country will completely change. So we're walking our talk. We're developing the coalition to build a new party. We're building coalitions to hit the streets, and we're promoting all and only independent voices.
Wow. Look, guys, that is banging. That is banging. She said an MSM detox. You know,
Mm-hmm.
you know what, Araquel, I for the last 4 days I haven't eaten any meat, and it's not because like I'm on like a thing. Like my even though my son is a vegetarian, right?
Oh,
Um,
awesome.
for over a year he's been a vegetarian. I guess it's rubbed off a little bit, but around his birthday we took him out, and of course he's a vegetarian. We get him what he wants to eat. We had to be vegetarian. It was pretty good. And I just kind of like kept doing it. Like I ate some meat. I was like, let me try this. So I know a little bit about detoxing. You know what I mean? It feels
Yeah.
great, guys. Look, I'm not trying to sell you. I'm not trying to change the subject and sell you on being a vegetarian, but just take a break and do a detox. Like Ava was saying, a detox from mainstream media will leave your mind clear. Like my mind is
Mm-hmm.
clear, and I like, why do I really need the pork chop? I don't really need pork chop. But anyway, and that's how you'll feel if you follow Ava Carroll's suggestion and PIP's suggestion of like kind of getting away from the mainstream media garbage. Because come on, guys, it gets you down. They never talk solutions. It's
Mm-hmm.
just fear, right? And
Mm-hmm.
division. Come on, guys. So, Ava Carroll, let's say this. We got to deal with the elephant in the room, and we talked about it just before we hit the air. We're talking about the health care, right? And you said we
Mm-hmm.
got to have we got to say something positive to pick people up. What are you thinking? What's on your mind about the healthcare situation, the American Healthcare Act?
Well, I think the whole thing is bullshit. All of it.
I love it.
Both sides. With
Stop
it.
right there. Stop right there. That's a good one. She said it's bullshit. I love it. She's not a real cursor, so we gotta take note of when she does that. We gotta give. So yeah, it's bullshit and.
Yeah, it's bullshit. I mean, we are the richest nation on this planet. Our people should have healthcare as a human right, and we're going to stand up for that. We're going to keep standing up for that. These games that they're playing with us today, this huge, press conference with a bunch of white dudes in the back laughing and patting themselves on the back, and then the Senate's not even going to vote on their repeal and the replace plan. They're toying with us, and I'm not sure if they want to continue to poke the bear. I mean, we're pissed off people, and we're waking up from, and we're waking up, and we're bringing lots of people with us. We're waking up a lot of people, and I don't think they want to keep poking that bear. I think they better start serving the American people, because we are going to replace them. We're going to rise up, and we're going to take our country back one way or the other. We're absolutely
I love it.
going to do that.
I love it.
Absolutely.
You know what burns me up about it is that so many people believe we can't do it. Like we can't
Mm-hmm.
have single payer. Like the people that buy into the BS. Like you just said it. We're the richest country in on the globe. Like there is no richer country. If we can't do it, who can? But yes, other people do it. But for some reason, a lot of Americans, a large segment of us, believe it's impossible. Like, oh, we can't afford that. Doesn't that like
Oh yes.
how do you doesn't that piss you off too?
Yeah, it pisses me off, but that's why one of our tenets is we have to promote and tell people to shut the MSM news off, because they are going to continually, they are corporate media, they are false news, in the sense, if you think of false news as omitting objective truth. And so we're not getting the real news, and we need to continue to push the truth. And when people's eyes start to open, we all got woke. Bernie helped us all wake up, and we can do that for others. People are suffering on the right, people are suffering on the left, people are suffering in the middle, and we need to tell folks that the progressive movement is not the neoliberal movement. We do not support, corporate health insurance and health care for profit. We are not those folks. Like, we know we can finance it, we know how to finance it, and now we have to get politicians in office that will actually pass the spending legislations for the people of this country that are so hardworking. I mean, the poor is just increasing. Our water across the United States is getting toxic. Our ozone is depleting. Our ice caps are melting. Our coastlines are rising. Like, we do not have time anymore to mess around with these corporate politicians. And that's why we believe we have to continue to fight outside of the corporate duopoly, and tip it over. We have to save our country, our democracy, and our planet. I mean, simply put.
Absolutely, guys. Give it up for that. Give it up for that. She's killing it. You're killing it. Now, I sent out a tweet earlier today, right after I heard about the passage so far, the first hurdle
Mm-hmm.
for them. And I said, I think they shoved this down our throats real quick because they saw Bernie out there in those town halls going
Mm-hmm.
across the Midwest, and people were responding to him favorably. So they're like, this guy's just gonna catch on. People are gonna wake up, so we got to hurry up and put together some garbage, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because if we don't, we're gonna get too much pushback, and that's what I think. I don't know if that's true. Does that, do you think that? I know it's a little conspiracy thing, but I really believe they got worried. They said, let's throw something together real fast because this
Oh
Bernie
yeah.
guy's picking up steam.
Absolutely. And, the majority of Americans want single payer health care. I mean, everybody wants it. I mean, we deserve it. I mean, my health and your health is so often wrapped in chance and genetics and environment and toxins and all sorts of things that, like, it only makes sense to have healthcare as a human right. And they know that the populist movement is coming. It's coming. We're seeing it around the world. We're tired of getting crumbs, as the same progressive likes to say. They're just giving us crumbs, and they want us to thank them for it, while they living lining their pockets, with lobbyist money and big pharma money. We're done. We're sick of it. We're enough is enough.
Yeah, enough is enough is
Mhm.
enough.
It is
Wow,
enough.
you mentioned two things in the same sentence. You mentioned Bernie Sanders and you mentioned the same progressive in the same sentence. I don't know, man. I gotta go there now. I gotta go there. Like, I know the same progressives. She wants Bernie Sanders drawn and quartered.
Hmm.
I don't agree with her.
Hmm.
What is your take on it?
Yeah, I actually just talked to her. She is in our anti-war coalition. She will be attending our progressive summit in Seattle, so I consider her a good ally. And and what we continue to push at PIP is that we have to unite through diversity, and there are going to be things we don't agree on. I have to agree with her about Bernie. I'm very disappointed in him. I'm disappointed that he picked up the Russian narrative. I'm disappointed that he didn't resist or fight the unilateral, internationally illegal missile strike against the government of Syria. I am upset. I'm upset with Bernie, and I'm not sure if that's because I'm woke and now I can see him playing politician, and I'm more of an activist. So, maybe he has to be more careful. But yeah, I'm absolutely disappointed, and but
Yeah,
this is politics, and we have to move our movement forward how
yeah,
we can, where
yeah.
we can.
But Araquel, he is a politician.
He
He
is.
is. He is. And we are activists. Well, I'm kind of an activist. I'm more of a show host. But did you? My thing is this: if we say okay, like I wasn't talking about politics until Bernie came along. I was talking about social issues. So like
Hmm.
for 2.5 years before I talked about politics, really, that's what I did. And I've also worked in my community. I was a community organizer and an activist in D.C. And also a journalist writing for a local paper 10 years back. But the people who have started this wave, which you admit was sort of how you developed just the start for your organization, that was sparked by Bernie. So how bad a guy can he be if that's where most people who are new to the movement kind of came from?
Yeah, I understand that, and I do believe in Bernie to an extent, and I think that his message is important because there are many Americans that still need woke. There's many Americans that don't understand what they do deserve from this country that we have, worked and worked. We have this high production rate. Corporations are just kind of taking us for a ride. You see the banks with their billions of dollars of profits. You see the oil companies with their billions of dollars of profits,
Mm-hmm.
and we're all struggling. We know this is not fair. We know they're not paying their share of taxes, and so Bernie's message is very, very important, and he's a beautiful man with a beautiful message and a great way of delivering
But,
it.
but,
And
but Erica,
I guess that's great. He's doing this unity tour with Perez,
yeah, but
and
that's over though. But look, you know as
yeah,
well as I do. The moment he goes on, see, here's my thing, and this is you and I talking. People watching, they just there. It's me and you.
okay,
Look, you and I both know. Like I've been on shows, you've been on shows. The
hmm
moment he says the stuff people want him to say, you never see him again. And I believe, based on that, like, based on the
hmm
fact I know, like, I'll feel good if he goes, well, look, don't get me wrong. If he goes on CNN and says, oh, forget the damn Democrats. Burn it down, Arakel. Burn it down, the whole thing. If he does that, I would feel so good. Look, I'm telling you, I would go buy me some champagne, pop bottles, all of it, But then the next day, you won't see him on TV. You know that. I know that. So that's how I'm not trying to be pragmatic. I just realized that when he gets to stick it to Tom Perez, he was sticking it to Tom Perez at every one of those town halls. And every interview, you see Tom Perez look like he had to go boo boo. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? Like that's
yeah.
something you guys are like. That's something I love you, and maybe we'll just disagree on this. I just believe people expect too much out of Bernie. It can't just be Bernie and Cornel West, man. Like Bernie,
No,
Cornel West, and Nina Turner and Tulsi Gabbard. That can't be it. Like, what about all these assholes sitting on their butts doing nothing? Like, what about Keith Ellison? What about, all these other people? Like, we all wanted from the 74-year-old Bernie to like throw it all away when he's done so much. Why don't we as brutal to the assholes who are doing nothing, who haven't woke up anybody, who haven't got you to form the
hmm
PIP, who haven't got me to talk about politics every day? Why aren't we giving them some shit? But it seemed like all of the gripes is reserved from the guy that's doing the most. Feel me?
yeah. I feel you. the most difficult thing is that, millions and millions of people follow Bernie Sanders, and it's difficult for those of us who believe that there is no reforming the Democratic
I
Party,
feel you.
to have our movement split in half. You have Dem enter, you have Dem exit, and it's a difficult thing to have our movement split. I mean, we've seen time and time again the Democratic Party is not going
Oh man.
to be reformed. They may reform just enough to win a few elections and get back in power,
Right.
but we know they believe they can legally rig a presidential primary,
Yeah, you know
and
oh,
now
come
follow
on.
their own charter.
I
So
agree
how
with
are we
you.
ever going to get a progressive president? We won't through the Democratic
So
Party.
basically, you guys want Bernie to drop dead because he no longer serves your purpose.
Oh, no, no, no,
Are
no.
you sure?
No, no.
We look.
You
We
gotta
got
be
what we needed, Bernie. Now get out of here. You need to get
no.
gone, Bernie. You're no longer useful. Look, I'm picking on you.
I
I'm picking
love
on you.
Bernie.
I'm
We are
picking.
Berniecrats. And as a matter of fact, Nick Brana is a good friend of mine. He's an ally, and we're actually working together. So we are all on board for the draft Bernie for a People's Party. And in the end, we're going to do it. If Bernie comes, we'll follow the draft Bernie for a People's Party. And if Bernie doesn't choose to come, hopefully
We'll
we will
get you.
have
We get you.
Dr. Cornel West and
We
Nina
got you.
Turner on our side.
Right,
You know what
right.
I'm saying?
Yeah,
That's politics. That's
yeah,
politics, Tim Black. You
yeah.
don't pick a side. We're going to just make it this happen because we have generations of progressive politicians in the future that we need to home and support and get them in office. So it is far more. It's not about Bernie,
Hmm.
and so that therefore, like, we're not throwing him away. We embrace, we honor him. He's one of my heroes, and we hope he'll come over. We hope, and we're trying.
And if he
So
doesn't, we keep going anyway, right, babe? Well,
we
sis,
have to.
sis,
We keep
sis,
going.
we keep going
Absolutely.
anyway, right, right, right.
Absolutely.
All right, that's enough of the hot round. Hey, look, we gotta get some views.
Bernie.
Look, Araquel, we gotta get some views, man. You know, if I just do softballs, we ain't gonna have. No one's gonna watch this. I gotta keep
That's
them.
okay.
I gotta keep them engaged. So,
You know what? I've had to defend PIP for a year now. I've had to defend it to the Green Party, to the Green members, to the Socialists, to the Berniecrats, to the Dem Enter. Like, I'm really, really used to, you know, defending our movement for
yeah.
an independent party for the 99%. I
Who
think
you
we can
tell? You
do it.
don't have to tell me that. People were writing me like, "Damn it, Tim Black, this is my fifth time, man. Why is there a
I
blackout on
know.
Pip? You said you're a progressive, and why is there a blackout?" I'm like, "Goodness, I'm a one man show. I don't care, Tim Black. You need to get us on there." Oh, you had Ed Higgins. Oh, we can't come on. You had Steve
Yeah.
Grumbine. We can't come on. You had a comedian come on, and you didn't get us. So do you have to tell me? I know you're a fighter. I applaud
Yeah,
your
I
fighting.
have to tell you, I have to tell you, we've had a difficult time getting male progressive independent media to cover PIP. I mean, we're predominantly a female-led organization,
Ooh.
and I have to be honest with you, it's been difficult to get our work. Like, you didn't even know about the summit we had. I mean, that's very telling of the lack of progressive news that is willing to cover. Perhaps like a feminist type of leader, a feminine movement
Uh
that
oh.
is more about collaboration than competition, and we're succeeding, and it's been disheartening. So I'm sorry if my people have
No, no,
been
that's good. Let's talk about that. So
persistent.
let's talk. No, no, no. Look, man, you are talking. You are speaking for probably thousands, if not millions of people who may feel the same way you feel. So do you think that there is a, I don't know, maybe there's some bias towards men or for
Mhm.
men, or there's some misogyny baked into the progressive movement?
Oh, yes, absolutely. I've never in my whole life had as difficult time as I have becoming. I don't like to call myself a leader, but a spokesperson in the progressive movement. No, I've never had the challenges. And some days, my biggest success is that I haven't quit. It's
Mm.
been very difficult. Activists and leaders in the progressive movement and the left are very strong-willed. They tend to be male, at that level. So yes, it's been very difficult, and I'm surrounding myself with beautiful, strong women. I mean, Anoa Changa is helping us plan the next summit. I mean, we're getting brilliant minds. We're wrapping ourselves with strong females and strong males, but that support. This revolution, the success of this revolution will be marked, I believe, by, our wonderful sisters of color being out front. And so we need to be sure that like those are the voices that we're lifting. It's not about me. It's not lifting my voice. I see a lot of male leaders that are self-promoting and this kind of thing. And that's not what we're
But look,
about. We build platform and we give it away. We're lifting up voices.
but let's keep it there. Now you believe, if I'm getting this right, you believe that if you were a guy and there were
Hmm.
more guys in the movement or in the front of it, that you would have had a little easier time like getting on shows or getting the word out and being
Hmm.
included in independent media. That's something we need to address if that's how you feel.
Yeah, it is.
I don't think that's crazy thought at all. And I'm like listening to it and I'm thinking, okay, how would I feel? Okay, so I think that black folks are very underrepresented in the progressive movement. Look at
Hmm.
most of the I appreciate people putting me on stuff. Like they put me on lists, they put me
Hmm.
on flyers, and I notice I'm like the only black guy in it. Sometimes they have Ben Dixon, but it'll
Yeah.
be 15 white folks, male and female, and one black, and that'll be me
Hmm.
typically. And I feel a little tokenism there, but
Hmm.
it's like, but I don't, and I know there are other people out there. There's Nico House.
Hmm.
There's of course there's Ben Dixon. There's Let the Madness Begin. Like there are people I don't
Hmm.
even know. I'm sure who are making noise. So I don't look. I do not discount what you say, but I look at like Erica, I look at it like this. I got to make sure my game is tight. You know
Hmm.
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Am I doing the best that I can do at all times? And look, and I've been doing it, like I said, for 4 years.
Hmm.
So you've been out for a year. Don't you
Hmm.
think it takes time to build momentum, or am I being like, or there's male groups that came out a year and they're making a lot of headway?
There's a male organization that's mimicking PIP that's been on TYT. Jordan Sheridan, probably your show, been on the Jimmy Dore show, and his organization is less than a month old and has no strategy. So, yeah,
Hold on. What
there is
organization?
an
I'm sorry.
issue.
What organization is that?
You know,
Oh, you don't want
we
to
don't
name them?
gossip and badmouth here at PIP because we're about uniting. And I understand that there is a natural potential for a blind spot, and we're not overly like self-promoting.
You
Um,
gotta.
but yeah,
You
I mean,
gotta. You gotta.
I
Look. This is you want to save the if it look. This is what I was telling H.A. Goodman. I said, H.A. man, it's not about our viewership, our numbers for the sake of numbers. It's because we want to change the narrative. And like if
yes.
we don't get bigger, we can't have an impact. So I don't I do not look at you wanting to grow your organization as self-serving at all because you have you have a goal that helps us all, right? You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
So I don't mean that. I would just say for me, and I want people to watch this, and I want people to think about what you're saying. It's a great
Hmm.
opportunity for people to look in the mirror on this. Maybe there is something. Maybe they need to change or reframe how they're looking at it. Um, I'll just say that for me, like when I had certain people on, sometimes the news cycle's part of it. Like I had Sam Ronan on because he was in the news cycle and then he stuck it to the DNC, so I brought him on. You know what I'm saying? And it wasn't. I never thought about am I giving equal time. Of course, I had a Noah Chango on a couple times. I've had Jacqueline Lukeman on a couple times. She's co-hosted with me. Debbie Lusignan.
I love them.
But I never thought like, okay, am I giving equal time? And maybe seriously this maybe people need to think about it, because like I never thought how it can be perceived. You feel
Yeah,
me?
if you think about, yeah, I do, and that's why I bring it up only in hopes that the work that we do, which is this collaborative coalition type of work, which is based in relationships and empowering people, it may not be, as like headline grabbing, but it's important work that could end up saving our movement. It's an incredible thing, and you're right. People of color are. Do not have their voices out, and I can tell you we have a huge, strong relationship with the Progressive Army, and they have access to the PIP main page. Benjamin Dixon has access to our main page. So does Anoa Changa, and so does Michael Graham,
Mm-hmm.
and so do all these folks that deserve to have viewership, deserve to have reach. And we walk our talk when we say folks need to be lifted up, they need to be heard. We do that. We build the platform and hand over the mic. So
Mm.
so when you lift up PIP, you lift up a movement where we're expecting folks that are the most marginalized, and our brothers and sisters of color to be out front. That's our goal with the Progressive Independent Party is to do
I
it
love it.
right.
I love it, man. Look, let me give it up for that. Give it up for that. That is, you know, even that, and I support that wholeheartedly. I know everyone you just listed. I retweet their stuff all the time. I haven't talked to Michael Graham, but I retweeted his stuff. He's like, Tim, I need a push, bruh. I need a push. I hope he sees this because he knows he does this too much. Tim,
he's,
I need a
he's so
push, man.
awesome.
I need a push. Um, I'll say this though: if you look, I don't want anybody giving me the mic just to give it to me because they think, oh,
Oh
we
no.
need the like you got to be good. And when I mean good, you got to be able to captivate an audience. It's not, it's not just about filling boxes. It's like, are you when you get a chance to shine, are you shining? Are you kicking ass? Are you taking names? Are you willing to come in here like you right now, Araquel, and like say some controversial stuff, but keep it real and speaking truth? It's only controversial to people who are butthurt from the truth. Because if this is your experience, it's your freaking
Yeah.
experience. And if they got a problem with that, well, they just they need to grow up. But you got to be willing to go on the edge. You got to be willing to, like there are a lot of people doing news, but they're not Jimmy Dore because Jimmy Dore says a lot of shit a lot of people won't say. Like, and I
Mhm.
had to kind of like say, oh, yeah, that's true. Like, he came on my show and he knew like 10 paragraphs of shit in his head that was all on point. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? Like he was like, but anyway, just to move on, let me get off that.
That's okay. I want to counter one point. And when you said like,
Please.
oh, they have to earn the mic and stuff like that, those names that I named, they've earned that
Oh
mic,
yeah.
and they are brilliant, brilliant people, and we're very proud to you know to have them as a strong partner. So I
Yeah.
just wanted to clarify because and I know that those
Yeah,
folks are
yeah. I
are
mean,
just
yeah, like
they're just
like I
brilliant.
mean, Ben Dixon, man, he won't be on CNN too much though, man. He need to get off that CNN stuff. Ben Dixon, they put him on TV, man. He got, I'm picking on him. And
Oh, he's got
I
that
know it's
nice
great.
radio voice, that deep, like, yeah. I was just on Ben Dixon last night, actually. Yeah,
Yeah,
he's
what
a
you
great guy.
talking about? You get promotion. You on Ben Dixon show. You got Progressive Army. You got you got all these things.
But you know why?
It's somebody
It's
watching right now, Erica, and they're like, I ain't been on shit, and this woman been on all this stuff.
But you know what? It's because of my my new director who is pushing to get us the media we need to build this movement. I mean, we're about uniting the left, and so this is not a natural phenomena for me to be out here speaking to the public, but the message needs to reach more people, and so we're going to do what we have to do, and it's just a beautiful thing. I mean, Anoa Changa tonight is on the Draft Bernie National organizing call.
Mm-hmm.
So we're all working together.
See,
It's a wonderful thing.
beautiful thing, man, a beautiful
Mhm.
thing. You want to shout out that director, give him some love?
Yeah, please, everybody should uh, sign the petition for Draft Bernie for a People's Party. That's Nick Branda's organization, and he is absolutely brilliant. Please, also follow Anoa Changa on her Way with Anoa on Facebook, and we're all working to build the summit to come together for an electoral strategy. So I hope everyone will join us.
Man, absolutely, absolutely. Look, it's been like I know. Look, tell me, like, is there some stuff? I don't know. Whatever's going on that you want to talk about, is there a subject that's like like in the back of your head, or it's like it's been really pissing you off, or you're concerned, or anything? I mean, we're here. We guys. I don't know who's watching, but some people are watching, and let me open the floor to you. Go ahead. Anything.
You know, what is there not to be pissed off about right now? I mean, every single day is difficult for any of us to decide where to put our energy. Do we, hit the streets for climate, for science, for, our black young boys that continue to be gunned down by police? The amount of issues, the Religious Freedom Reformation Act that was signed today by President Trump. We have, the failing healthcare system. All of us are wondering exactly where to put our energy. So yeah, I'm pissed off. We're all pissed off, and so that's why we continue to call for unity. In my opinion, there's no other way we're going to do this, and I think we can do it. But yeah, it's not good. We're in a very dire situation, and we are, racing the clock. Tim Black,
Yeah.
we're racing the clock. Like Stephen Hawkins changed his, like, his doomsday clock and said we have 100 years to get off our planet. you know, we're not messing around. I mean, it's like we're really racing against the clock. And in 25 to 50 years, 75% of all species on this planet will be gone. We are heading towards climate refugees. The coast is going to start rising. New York City is going to be under half of it. Those folks are going to be climate refugees. We're only looking at everything getting much worse. I mean, we're heading probably towards an economic collapse with the government not, approving spending. Things are tough right now. So
and meanwhile, we have idiots doubting climate change. While
mm-hmm.
all that is going on, we have idiots going, no, I think it's all made up in China. This all a
Yeah,
made up thing.
we do. We do.
So, look,
So,
can we
but
go back to the religious referendum real quick?
mm-hmm,
Because I haven't done a video on this. Can
mm-hmm,
you, why, people are applauding this like it's a good thing. Oh, because these people, they get to discriminate with the
mm-hmm,
cosign of the government. I
mm-hmm,
mean, that's how I see it. And look, you're entitled to. People are entitled to feel however they feel about other people's orientation or who they sleep with, which I don't understand at all. But okay, like why would you care? Like what people do in their homes, but
mm-hmm,
that's to me, that's all they're doing is he's legalizing discrimination. How do
mm-hmm.
you feel about it?
Well, I don't know if you know this, but I reside in Indiana. So,
Oh God,
Vice President Mike Pence is my former governor,
poor
and we
poor lady,
already
poor
had
lady.
this fight in Indiana. Mike Pence signed the 19th Religious Freedom Reformation Act in this country. One was signed by Bill Clinton in 1993, which was a federal one, which was watered down. He insisted that this 19th this 19th one was the same as they were prior, but it was not, and that's because of the case of Hobby Lobby having gone to the Supreme Court, and they decided that Hobby Lobby could act as a person with religious beliefs and not pay for birth control or contraception of their employees through the health insurance. So he's taking the one in Indiana was taking it a straight line to that further, saying that bakers, for instance, did not have to
Right,
serve clients of same-sex marriage, or photographers, or this or that. So it was very different. It was, you look at the Civil Rights Act of 1964. We resolved that issue in 1964. Unfortunately, the LGBTQ community has not been added to the groups that are protected by the Civil Rights Act of 1964 on a
right,
federal level.
right.
Now, Indiana did not have the LGBTQ language in our civil rights. And Pence wouldn't add it either. He's a very anti-LGBTQ, right-wing Christian. He fought marriage equality in our state all the way up several times to the Supreme Court, federal court in Chicago. And so this was his way of trying to do like a back alley way of discriminating against these folks in our state. And he signed it very cavalier, despite our protests and our petitions and people being very angry. And until it caught wind in the national scene and became exploded, and people started taking their money out of Indiana and
Mm-hmm.
canceling their conventions and stuff like that. At which point, they had to add protections for the LGBTQ community within the RFRA of Indiana. So I'm going to tell you this federal RFRA can be extraordinarily dangerous, and I think it might be the thing that tips our country into mass civil disobedience. And I'll tell you why. Is even though the Religious Freedom Reformation Act is supposed to be a very exceptional, rare instance where folks can use their deeply held religious beliefs to discriminate services against folks. This will embolden people across the country to believe that they can, even if that was not the intent of the law. Now, if you ask yourself, and that's why he signed a new one today, even though Bill Clinton had signed one provision in 1993. So we already had those types of protections. Now he's extending religious protections to businesses, which was not in the original 1993. So for all your viewers, that is the difference of this RFRA. It's extending businesses the right to have religious beliefs, which we all know this Civil Rights Act in 1964 said that that's not the case. If you own a public business, you have to serve everyone equally and without discrimination. So here we are again, and it's going to be if
Yeah,
states have
horrible.
protections. Yeah, if states have protections for LGBT communities, then those folks should be safe, even though their citizens may not know that and openly, you know, present bigoted behavior and discriminatory practices. But what people at home can do is check your city human rights ordinances, check your state, and see if LGBTQ community is protected.
Mm-hmm.
Those will supersede the federal law. So if not, please go down to your courthouse and make a stink and make sure that they call a vote to add LGBTQ protections into local ordinances.
Absolutely, absolutely. We're going to have companies and corporations, I don't know, retail shops asking what your orientation is when you go to the door. I mean, what kind of shit is that? I mean, this
Mm-hmm.
this 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 is horrible beyond horrible. This is so anti-democracy, anti-rights, anti-humanity. Like, and look, like I said, like, you can have whatever opinion you want, but just imagine, what people will do. Like, you want to trust the plumber with the ability to say, like, nah, man, I think
Mm-hmm.
this guy looks like he might like guys. We're not gonna fix this
Mm-hmm.
toilet. I mean, like, whatever. Like, I mean, they all. I want people to think of it in the hands of of complete assholes. Not
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying. Like, think about the type of people you're giving power to. And first
Mm-hmm.
of all, it's a fault. It's a horrible concept anyway. I think.
Oh yeah. Yeah, you
Yeah.
can't, a person's right to be a bigot will never supersede civil rights in this country, and neither should it. So if you are very concerned, like I am, besides hitting the streets and protesting, we all should donate to the ACLU, who've already tweeted today that they will be seeing Donald Trump's administration back in court
Love
because
it.
this has to be against our Constitution. Absolutely.
Gotta be. You killed that, by the way. All that historical data. I didn't know that Bill Clinton did that. Another reason for me not to like Slick Willie.
I know.
Bubba.
But it wasn't as bad as this. It definitely, this whole idea that companies can be people with religious beliefs, and corporations can be people, and freedom of speech is giving money, to the politicians. I mean, all this sense of companies being people has really declined our power as individual people, because we can never ever compete with that sort of corporate money towards our politicians. So we
That's
need to start. Well, we're fighting those laws. We're fighting those decisions by the Supreme Court. Move to Amend, which is David Cobb has been a spokesperson, national spokesperson for Move to Amend. They're doing great work to continue to fight that horrible Supreme Court decision that lets money be free speech. And corporations are pouring it into our politics. That's the difference between, January 21st of this year was the 7-year anniversary of that Supreme Court decision and Citizens United decision. 7 years. So, as I explained to my mom, that's the difference. She's like, oh, everything's the same since, whatever. No, 7 years ago, corporate money could be poured into politics. It's now this like oligarchy that's just tightening. We're getting less control. The politicians are deregulating because they're paid to deregulate the businesses. The banks are being deregulated. Nothing is in our favor. We saw that in Standing Rock. We saw that at DAPL. Our rights, our human rights. They're going away for profit, and it's a sad day in America.
Yeah, it just every day it makes me just want to reach more people and wake them up because I can't believe people believe that they want this. They're just being controlled by that mainstream media machine we've been talking about that spins the narrative and fools them into believing the crap they believe. I mean, look, Araquel, I want to thank you so much for coming on the show, for dealing with me, just giving you hurdles and trying to make it lively to make people remember this video and to share it. I got a strategy behind it. I got much love for everybody. In fact, I embrace all independent media. I don't care who they are. If they're speaking their truth, I got your back. I support all freedom of speech for all people, regardless to what. As long as it's not hate speech and as long as it's not inciting violence, I got your back. And I work with anybody, so I want to put that out there. But, hey, Raquel, please tell people where to go to find out more about you.
Yes. Absolutely. Like if you want to get connected with our MSM Detox, our No War Coalition, if you want to hit the streets with us, if you want to join us in Seattle, August 18th through the 20th, please join us at progressiveindependentparty.org and, of course, Facebook and Twitter. And you'll see only independent media on our social media outlets. So please join us, sign up, because we are and if you're a part of an organization that wants to join these coalitions to move us forward, please do reach out to us. We have a great loving team.
There you go, guys. Let's do that. Everybody follow Araquel on everything. They got a website. She's on. Look, I don't have your Twitter down here. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
What's your Twitter address?
My personal one is Araquel Bloss, and the Progressive Independent Party is at PIP Unite.
That's it, at PIP Unite. Guys,
PIP Unite, yep.
At pipunite.com. At PIP Unite on Twitter. And just so people have it seared in their heads, the website was?
progressiveindependentparty.org, and it's a new website, so we're tweaking it, but you should be able to read our platform, our demands, and get involved. Please sign up, because really we're calling all Berniecrats back together, because by the fall, we'll know if Bernie's joining us. Please also go to draftbernie.org and sign their petition, because every progressive's win is a success for all of us. So let's help all of these organizations push towards success.
I love it. That's it, guys. Thank you so much, Araquel. One more time. Let's give it up for her, and everybody go follow the progressiveindependentparty.org. Also, Draft Bernie, hashtag Draft Bernie at PIP Unite. I appreciate you, sis.
Thank you, Tim Black. We love you.
Love you back. Give it up for her. Araquel Bloss, ladies and gentlemen. That's right. And we will talk soon. All right, you're free, Araquel. You're out of here. Thank you so much for being available. Thank you for being a sport. Thank you for making this fun. Thank you for killing it. And then let me move me over here in the middle. Somebody say, Tim, that no sellout background's too, it's distracting. Like, Tim, you got too much going on. Give it to that one. No. Now I'm going to be in the middle of nothing. PIP. PP. Okay. Good enough. My head cut off. All right, guys. My head's getting cut off. Look, guys, thank you so much for being a part of the show tonight. I don't know what's going on here with this. This thing's crazy. Give me that one. There you go. Get out of here. All right. I feel a little bit better now. We had a great show tonight. Look, we want to bring up important topics. I'm going to mix it up sometimes. Bring up important topics. Learn about Araquel Bloss. Learn about the Progressive Independent Party. Learn about it. And I love the fact that she's bold enough to speak whatever's on her mind, say whatever on her mind. And maybe I'll be I'll start this wave of more, I don't know, more platforms, bringing on different types of people. I wasn't aware of it. I never looked at it that way. I just try to bring on people who hound me enough, or people that I see on Twitter. But if you have suggestions, I want to bring on Caitlin Johnstone. Give it up for Caitlin Johnstone. Right? I want to bring her on. Just because she's kicking ass is why I want to bring her on. She's making all this noise. I notice it. And I was like, hey, I got to get this woman on my show. But we need to ask tough questions like, do we have blind spots when it comes to misogyny, or to, giving women, airtime, or do we have blind spots about giving black folks airtime and donating to shows? And it was a big thing. People were talking about it. And I just happen to think that we need to have these hard conversations when they arise. And it came up, so let's talk about it. Let's not run from it. It's not like, let's not demonize one another. Like, I don't want to demonize anyone, but we need to look at it like, are we exuding, are we demonstrating what we talk, right? Are we demonstrating, are we acting? Are we putting down what we preach? And if we are not, like, opening our doors to everyone, if we're not giving everyone a platform who's earned it, who's been kicking ass, who's been doing their thing, I don't mean for 2 weeks or 2 months, but been kicking ass, like, in general, are we giving them that love? So I'm going to circle back. I'm going to go talk to the people that I talked to last year around this time and the months following, and see how they're doing, and bring them back on the show, because I definitely want to walk the walk, right? I definitely want to walk the walk, and I definitely do not want to neglect my audience or the movement or the revolution or the people. So thank you once again for tuning into the show. I'm going to give a big stinking fat, just nasty like me when I got to go on these walks, because there's no disrespect to fat people, because I'm trying to lose weight. But listen, I'm going to give a big fat shout out to my moderators, Momo Pineno, Iron Man Oz, and Broken Carpenter. I want to give a shout out to Tim Black's Wolfpack, people who support this show, who walk their walk and talk their walk, who donate to me, all colors, all orientations, all ethnicities, all religions, doesn't matter. So thank you so much for what you do. I love you. And let me go to my chat room and see if anybody's there. Let me see if anybody's in the house, man, after all that stuff I've been talking. Tim's in a little box. Beth Lamb, what's up, Beth Lamb? Uncle Ron says, bring Tim Canova on again. Damn right I want to bring on Tim Canova. Tim Canova, it's Celeste McChristy. Jake Smith. OG Johnson. OG Johnson's in the house. Nate Germ's in the house. I see you, Nate Germ. Low Key's in the house. Mods. See outside the black box. It's an illusion. Phil Britton. Dr. Cat. Dr. Cat says, bring back on George Webb. George Webb gets a lot of love. George Webb has been killing it. You're definitely up in the losing weight. Oh, thank you. Who said that? Who said that? That wasn't Sandra. Sandra don't give me no love like that. Who was that who gave me that love? Campsey. Grothendike says, I'm losing weight. Get up for Campsey. My sister. I love you, girl. Love you. All right. When I'm walking, when I'm hitting these hills, right, and there's no shoulder, like there's a shoulder, but there's no sidewalk, I'm like, man, this better be worth it, man. But look, it is. It's worth it. Give it up to Sergeant Hayes, Eric, Carmelita Foutois, Jason W. said, Cornell West. Man, we've been trying to get Cornell West we've been trying. Kelly Lane and Bon Kim have been trying to get Cornell West. I'm trying to get Cornell West. Somebody, look, they say everybody's only 7 degrees separated from everyone else, right? So that means in this group of people watching right now, somebody in that group has to know Cornell West, Dr. Cornell West. I want Dr. Cornell West. Please make it happen. Dr. Cornell West on my show. Ahead of John Mubaraka, I got to have Dr. Cornell West. It's just the thing, right? It's what I got to do, all right? I hate Dr. Jill Stein, come on, I got to have it. Give it up for Kelly Robinson, Jody H., G. Cooligan, Amanda Siokis, and Freedom Fighter 57. All right, guys. I done ran my mouth long enough. Jilly Love, Jake Smith. I ran my mouth long enough. I love you guys. If you support independent media, if you do, if you're not already supporting and you can do it, please go to my Patreon. It's in the description box below. Support independent media where your voice will be heard. I am you. I'm that bigger than you. I'm not better than you. I'm not talking down to you. These are conversations, guys. We are the same because you know what? Because I am you, right? I ain't making $25 million like Rachel or Matt Lauer. I'm not making $7 million like Rachel Maddow. I ain't living in a bubble. I'm you. We deal with the same crap, all right? So, with that, like I always say,
nobody take no cornbread from me.
Don't you let nobody take your cornbread. And when you arguing never gets you anywhere. What you got to do is sprinkle a little what?
Let's sprinkle some crack on them and get out of here.
Sprinkle a little facts on them and get out of there. I'm Tim Black. I'll see you on the next one. See you tomorrow for Freedom Friday when you get the mic. You get to say what's on your mind. And I don't cut you off. We do have a time limit, but that's it. I don't care if I agree with you or disagree with you. This is your show. Freedom Friday is the people's show. You get to say it. So call up tomorrow. Be a part of it. It is indie media. All right? And we love it. And I love you. Tim Black. Tim Black. Tim Black. Yes, I am. True. Funny. Tim Black. I am TimBlack.com. Tim Black.
Look, man, I ain't falling for no banana in my tailpipe.
Never fall for the banana in the freaking tailpipe. Yeah.